Yeah.
You are watching number one podcast in the whole YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope
Road
break.
Break. And what day is it? Friday. So, are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready
Ready
for
for
some
some
bullshit?
bullshit.
And yeah, I hope that all of you are ready to get some bullshit because this show, Smackdown on Fox, it was not a good show. Pretty disappointing. Nothing really out of substance, nothing meaningful, nothing significant came about from this show. And that was the go home show for Money in the Bank. So, like, we are ready to be witnessing your Money in the Bank on Sunday. And, like, we're going to be talking about all this show that, like, pretty much did it make us excited? Did it make us more invested into this pay-per-view? Jean-Paul Eck, you get the floor.
No, not at all. I mean, when was the last time that we seen a go-home show that it was like, oh, man, like I'm really hyped up for the pay-per-view? I can't
Maybe in the
remember one.
ruthless aggression era.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we got to, jump in the time machine here, like a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or something. But I've never, I can't remember one. This wasn't one either. What do we get? We've got like two matches or pretty much things we're going to see at the pay-per-view. And it's like, who's going to be the mystery opponent in, a match that I didn't think was going to be the main event. Again, we see, this brand's number one guy, the Universal Champion. He's in the middle of the show. So it shows you how much they care about him and his match. And to me, again, that match was kind of cool, kind of interesting until they said he'll be facing Bray Wyatt and not The Fiend. Pretty much, cementing the fact that Braun Strowman's going to retain. So all my cares, and interest gone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they didn't do a good job to like get us invested in what's gonna happen on Sunday. We gotta mention for what it's worth, the Money in the Bank matches are already taped, so like that they're gonna be example throughout the pay per view. The two the Money in the Bank matches will start, and throughout the whole pay per view, they're gonna be. It's not gonna be.
See, that's so they'll have like the opening match will be like
They
Bailey,
will have
Tamina,
like
and then they'll
pieces
show
of it.
5,
There's
10
pieces
minutes,
gonna,
and then
hey, let's see what's
that's
going on. Boom.
to me that'll take me out of it. Is that no, I don't want to judge it. It could be good, but I'm gonna say right now I already hate it.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Also, like they have planned a big spot. There's gonna be like 2 or 3 big spots, like meaning like really big jumps and stuff like that. So get ready for all of that. So family, thank you so much
I'll
for
pop
subscribing.
for. I won't lie. I'll be a mark and I'll pop for that.
If they do it right, if they do it
yeah.
right. So thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you for all the love, comments. Big shout outs to the granny, to Steve Lower, all of everybody that is watching the show, that is always checking us out. Thank you to every single one of you. So Jean Paul, let's get to business, shall we? Mandy Rose starts the show. Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville, first match of the night. Mandy Rose was shown backstage, and Otis asked if she's like ready for the match against Sonya, and he wanted to know how can he help. Oh yeah. So she told him to focus on Money in the Bank. He's like, my peach, you focus on Money in the Bank. And then she kissed him in the cheek, of course, like, oh yeah. Okay, so like legit. And then we go to the match. What do you think about the match, Jean Paul?
I mean, I don't know if this is the blow off. I don't think so. I think they put a little too much in this storyline for this to be the end of the feud. And I'm not even saying that it deserves a pay-per-view ending, but I mean a roll up and done. I'm like, is that it? Is it?
Yeah,
I thought it was quick. I didn't really enjoy it too much, and I was like, I mean, maybe it's just the quality of both the women. But I really didn't care for this match too much.
Yeah, well, like 2 things when to go along to what you just said. I think it's not going to be the last match. It's not going to be a one-time thing. I think they're going to have several matches. It's just the beginning of the feud. And, of course, if you want to prolong a feud, what do? You have the heel win all the time. So that's what we're going to keep doing, especially on a kind of like stupid fashion, like a cheating way, of course, of a roll-up, because Mandy had it already done. But then Sonya did the roll-up, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and
Sonya gets the win.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like what my main problem is. You said, like, it was just the match I thought was still kind of going because I'm like, well, Mandy's looking pretty good, pretty dominant. And it's like, you got to build Sonya up as a legit heel. The fighter, she's like pissed. Oh, I've been living in your shadow. If you're saying all this stuff, calling her a bitch, and going all out like that, you can't come out here and be getting your ass kicked and looking like a loser, because then it's like you can't back up your words.
Exactly.
So I'm like, they got to eventually flip this match. Sonya takes advantage, really beats her down. And I don't even know what Sonya's finisher is, but then she hits her finisher 1, 2, 3. Instead, like you said, it was Mandy dominating, roll up 1, 2, 3. Sonya sneaks out the win. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Sonya is supposed to win, but she won in the worst way possible for her character development.
It's is the reason just mainly because they have to like prolong the feud. Like this was like, hey, we need something kind of to fulfill this show. Let's put them together. Let's make them have a match. Does anybody care? No. And Mandy, out of the two, Mandy's like I will say a bit better than Sonya, wrestling wise. I mean, Sonya has a lot of background MMA and everything, but you don't see it. You never see it. And it's not a shot at Sonya. It's just saying like if she will have that many accolades, you will see her showing it, and she doesn't. So the one thing is just like at least they're gonna keep prolonging the feud because like you always said, when the face wins, feud is over. This time that didn't happen, so that's why the feud is gonna keep going. Probably they're gonna have some kind of involvement in the Money in the Bank ladder match with like Dolph Ziggler and Mandy and Otis. So get ready for that, family, because that will happen. They're gonna have some kind of involvement in that match. So, oh yeah. So we, like you said, like they already spoil us like a match that is gonna happen at Money in the Bank because we had the New Day teaming up with the Lucha House Party going against The Miz and John Morrison, and the songs that are always forgotten or the forgotten.
And this is when like the first match, you could kind of smell the bullshit. We say, "Are you ready for the bullshit?" And this is the one when the cow walked right in front of us and he just plopped his steaming pile right, in front of us. Why are we seeing this match? We always say like why. And again, not that this is a feud that any of us really cared about. But why are these guys wrestling in pretty much the match that we're going to see at the pay-per-view on Friday?
Yeah.
That's like saying who's going to want to watch the pay-per-view? Yeah, this was an 8-man tag versus a fatal 4-way tag match, but it's all pretty much going to be the same thing.
Yes, and that's the main problem. Is like the one thing you just mentioned is like we're going to see already the same moves, we're going to see the same interactions, we're going to see the same sequences. So what will you give with the same thing that you're going to give in the pay-per-view like 2 days before that?
Yeah, if anything, like you could have did so many storylines. You could have booked this thing, fatal 4-way. You could have had maybe one of the teams cutting a promo tonight, and then you could have had somebody backstage, one of the teams, like let's say the Forgotten Sons, beating the crap out of like Miz and Morrison or, Lucha House Party. And then maybe they're like eliminated from the match or they don't know if they're going to make it or, add some drama, spice this up. Or just even do, which is, half as bad as what they did, but just give me a fatal 4-way match. Take one member from each team and put them in a singles match.
See, that's what I would have done. Get one member, just like whatever is your best guy, put him in, have the match. At least you have the other ones will be, like ringside and everything. And then they can have, at least at the end a big brawl because that's what they always do.
Exactly. And like you said, at least, because you said they're pretty much going to be repeating the same tag team spots. Then at least those spots will be fresh and new on Sunday instead of like, oh, I saw this 2 days ago. I'm not excited.
And probably the finish will be something like the same that we're going to see.
Yep.
But like the one thing, this match took a big chunk of the show. Took a big chunk, man. Like the Lucha House Party, like you mentioned to me, they look really good. Like they're so talented.
That is the one thing. Exactly.
But yet, they never deserve a push, and I don't understand why. Like, they were having, like you said, like, the last 5 minutes that we're going to go over this, extremely great. I was like, okay, cool, they're going to win.
You know what they need to do?
What?
They need to call up our boy who wrestles, like 2 nights a week, probably more. They need to call him and be like, bro, hook us up with the Wednesday show. They'd be like, we're bullshit on our show too. We want to go to Wednesday. And he'd be like, yeah, Wednesday's the legit night. Because you see how good
be in the cruiserweight tournament.
We've seen how good Lucha House Party is. I mean, if you've seen the cruiserweight, classic tournament and you've seen these guys wrestle before getting, slapped on the main roster, destined for failure, you knew how good they were. Kalisto included. And they put these guys together and they treat them like bullshit.
Yeah.
So
that's a big problem. That's a big problem. They don't really resource to like the show should be like, like a structure in like, for example, hey, the cruiserweight should give us like the high flying, athleticism, in-ring performances, like that's what we want to see in cruiserweights. That's the part for like the people who love that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mandy, Sonya, storyline, drama, whatever, like girls
Yeah.
shenanigans, whatever. Then your main event scene should not have been what it was. It should. Don't you think that it should be like your title, like your main title, like that should be the feud? That should be
Yeah.
your last segment. You even like when WWE gives you this kind of things, you see that like they don't even have faith in that championship match because they don't
Yeah.
put it in the last segment of the show. So Jean Paul, let's go with like the last sequences of that match. But like you said, these guys, the Lucha House Party, deserve so much,
Yeah.
and
To
they get
me,
so
if
little.
I would honestly pull the trigger, and we can talk about this when we do previews and predictions, which I know you all check out. I would pull the trigger on the Lucha House Party for this match.
I
Just
will
because,
definitely do it. I will definitely do it just because of the in-ring competitors they are. But do
Yep.
they care about professional wrestling? I don't think
No.
so. So Lynn said, all right, okay, the Sunset Flip and almost got a pin. Then Morrison fought back and got a 2 count. Then Morrison went for the Starship Pain, but he landed on his feet when Lindsay moved. Then Lindsay hit like the points on Rana, like beautiful, extremely beautiful. And this is when absolutely the crap starts. Like the Miz, the kids, the skull crashing finale, 1, 2, 3, and like the heels win. Okay, it's fine. The heels get the upper hand, but why you take all the momentum from the Lucha House Party? It just doesn't make any sense.
Especially because it's like the Lucha House Party comes in like, crazy, house on fire, doing all these moves, they look legit, and then it's like they run into a brick wall. Miz tags in, boom, skull crushing finale, 1, 2, 3, done.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So like bad. It's just that didn't sit well with me. Now we're going like we had a sort of quick promo from Baron Corbin. Do we care about him? No. Again, like this guy is nothing against the guy. Cool wrestler, but his character absolutely terrible. To the point that we're gonna pop for Jeff Hardy because he made his return and really cool. But like I said this to you, I say that to everybody in the family. No more words.
I don't know. I feel like because I'm like, why do they keep using, like you said, they keep using just the Hardys theme? It's like, Matt's gone. Just give him his old theme. Either one, they don't have copyright for it, whatever. They don't want to pay to use it. Two, maybe if they don't use the Hardys theme, they'll lose that somehow. And they're like, maybe we don't want to lose this theme, so we're just going to give it to Jeff. But I feel like if you want to make him special, a new theme. But when's the last time that they gave somebody a new theme to like make them feel special? Like, yeah, they gave to Cesaro, they gave to the Kabuki Warriors, but they always just like give these people a new theme like randomly at weird times. They never do it when it's appropriate, like a returning superstar Jeff
or like
Hardy.
For example, like Gargano, like what we mentioned.
But NXT, but see, NXT is perfect.
Makes sense
for the most part.
Yes, exactly. So like I mean, like is it? Do we need from Jeff to go to NXT to get no more words?
Yeah, if so, please let him show up. He'll challenge Adam Cole. Swanton and done.
And this was a legit promo, like you mentioned to me. And like the one thing, at least, the feud started. We mentioned this last week. We knew that this was going to happen. So Sheamus and Jeff Hardy are going to be in a feud. So he comes out, and Renee Young, she's the one interviewing him. She said what he has left to prove. He said, "I'm not sure." So if you tell me that, I'm not sure. Okay, well, Jeff, just spend the last, 2 years of your contract here. Just chill,
Maybe he was like, I'm not sure because I did it. I did everything. Grand Slam, it's done.
Yeah. So he said he talked about his career, and then he loves. Well, then they show Sheamus. Sheamus is like backstage, and they're like he's talking over Jeff Hardy. He's like, oh yeah, you're going to say this, you're going to say that. Yeah,
he's watching it. He's like, oh, look at this bullshit. Look at this.
Pretty much. So then he says and Jeff goes and says, well, I'm surprised that Sheamus hasn't come out yet. So then he comes out, and then Sheamus says that he was begging for fans to give him a little sip out of his bottle, and there was nobody around to give him a pity swig. So Sheamus says that fans are tired of them. They're tired of suspensions, releases, no shows, and wasted second chances. So Sheamus said that everybody knows that Hardy's next failure is right around the corner. Everybody but him. He says that Jeff's flame has been barely burning for far too long. So it's time for me to put it out. So pretty much Sheamus wants to kill Jeff Hardy. Not kill him literally, but he wants to just retire Jeff Hardy. So Sheamus goes to the ring, and I thought that Sheamus was going to get the upper hand, but no, Mr. Leek. Jeff Hardy completely dominates Sheamus, whisper in the wind, Sheamus is done, and then Swanton Bomb connects absolutely clean. Sheamus is absolutely done, and Jeff Hardy
I don't see him as being done because, one, to me, it wasn't like shown on camera the same way as like Moxley and Hager when he hit the DDT, and then Hager kind of popped back up, got him and almost grabbed him. But with this, Hardy hit all his signature moves, finishers, whatever. By the time, Jeff rolled out of the ring and had his arms up in the air, Sheamus was already up screaming at him. So it's like you see, like, boom, Sheamus, he wasn't laying there like, and like dead the whole time. So it's like you clearly see, okay, Sheamus still had fight in him. If that was a legit match, he might have kicked out because he was still fresh. So it's like, it wasn't like he hit his finisher and he laid there limp for, 10, 15 minutes. But I like the promo by Sheamus. I like the one by Hardy before it as well. The one thing, though, I don't like I feel like with Jeff Hardy, every time he comes back or they're like turning him babyface or want to do some story, they always tell the heel, just say he's an addict. Just say he's a drug.
Resource to that way too much.
And it's like, to me, like the most legit one was CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
Back then, and then it's like ever since that, like, why do you don't keep doing it? You're trying to relive and redo a storyline that won't have the same intensity, it won't have the same effect, and everybody just think it's going to be rehashed. But I'm excited for this. I told you I wish this was for the belt. I wish
I would like to have a belt on it, and maybe because there's rumors that Sami Zayn is going to be taking time off because like there's a lot of different stories on him that like he's been really annoying to work with, very obnoxious. Mm-hmm. And they say that very soon Vince McMahon is going to make a decision of what to do with the IC belt.
Honestly, this is what I would do. This is what I would do because he'll have a job with AEW. There's no way. So I would just literally take the belt off him and cut him. Be like, dude, like, sorry, you want out of here, whatever. Let him go. Let El Generico show up in AEW. They can hopefully not ruin him like they did Matt Hardy, and then put these two in a match. Boom. IC belts up for grabs. They put it on the line. Maybe the third or fourth match that these guys have in their feud for the IC belt. Hopefully at a paper.
Like do some type of fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it like, hey, you guys are gonna fight for the belt, whatever.
Especially if you do some, you drag it out as make it real big for like SummerSlam or something.
Yeah, that will be good. And then finally, that belt that is brand new, the design is like doesn't have even a year old. Like at least it's gonna get some kind of legitimacy because no one cares about the IC belt.
No,
Sami Zayn is just laying there with that belt. Let that belt live. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that he's obnoxious. I don't know. I'm not in WWE. I can't say like he is not. But like the only thing we can say is that he's not on the show. So
yeah,
Bray Wyatt, Mr. Leg, face to face against Braun Strowman. We really had that. You're our friend. So Braun comes out and he talk about starting with the family, with the Wyatt family. But Braun came out and he says he wants to say he's sorry. Braun then he says that Sunday Bray is the one that is going to be sorry. But then Bray says he knows him. A good creator always knows all of his creations, right? He says he knows what's best for Braun. Then Strowman says, no, you don't. No, you don't. So then Wyatt said that Braun needs to come home. He doesn't belong out there with the rest of them. He just needs to remove the WWE title that he called them a burden. So like he's saying like this doesn't belong to you. And I really agree with that. But like that's only my personal opinion on that. He says that he needs to get the Universal Championship back where he was, which is with Bray. And then Braun says he's gonna get these hands. So then Braun said Bray doesn't know him, and it all ends and Money in the Bank. And then Wyatt said our journey is just beginning. So he's already telling you what this feud is gonna keep going. So like this is just like Braun retains on Money in the Bank, and they're gonna drag it, and then they're gonna put a Fiend against Braun. So then
if that's what they're gonna do, then I don't care to prolong it because it's like you really look at the landscape, and this is the one thing where I'll give them a pass. If this feud was over at Money in the Bank, let's say it's like, okay, we hate Bray Wyatt, our plan is to squash him and ruin him. That's how you would do it. But because like you said, the wordage and everything they used, and I really believe this isn't the end of the feud. But like, because who else would you do? Where would Braun Strowman go realistically?
Yeah.
If he beats the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, and this is the last match, who's he going to challenge?
No, yeah,
you're not bringing in
strong heel.
Yeah, you're not bringing in Cena. Goldberg's gone. There's no Roman. You're just all these main event guys. They're just taking them all off the list. So it's like, who's left? You have Hardy and Sheamus. So that's why you got to do something where, I think eventually, boom, boom, boom. Hardy wins his feud. The Fiend finally gets the belt back, and then that's the natural next feud: Jeff Hardy versus the Fiend.
Yeah, that's something that I'm really looking like to like look forward to because CJ Hardy face paint, the Fiend is also like has like the mask, so it's something that I will really be invested on. Good call on that.
And if WWE doesn't kill it, you could still do like you could still do Nero and all that stuff. Maybe switch it up a little bit, but how he like with the face paint and like all like the stuff you said, but make it more like kind of touch on the
dark.
Hardy universe.
Make
But
it more like goddish, like I understand what you're saying, and I would love to do that. So hopefully that's the route that they're planning to cross, the paths from like Jeff Hardy and the Fiend at some point, and putting the Universal Championship on the line. That will make the Universal Championship, relevant, and that's something that like right now in the waist of Braun Strowman is whatever else you want to call it, but relevant.
Exactly, and
So,
he doesn't. This promo. It doesn't get me any more excited for the match.
No, and I even have more. Have more because Bray then gave him a taste of things to come before extending out another Black Sheep mask, and then he said to try it on and come back home. Then the Firefly Funhouse friends, they were all shown like saying, "Come home," Abby the bitch, Abby the witch, like a rumbling rabbit, all of them. They were like, "Oh, come home," all of them. So Strowman said, "I am home," and he's the Universal Champion. So he said that he's going to keep it, and then Wyatt will be stuck playing with his puppets. And then he goes like, "Bye, bye." So then we see Bray Wyatt.
Now that line that he did deliver, I am home because I'm the Universal Champion or whatever, that line would have been legit if Strowman was legit. Because it's like, oh, come home. And it's like, oh, okay, that's like a good babyface line. But when Strowman says it, it's like, oh my God. Like, dude, I don't care. Like, I wish you were at home.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And not here in this ring.
Exactly, yeah. Nobody wants to see him anyway. So we go to Otis backstage, and like Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, like pretty much the one thing I didn't like about this, very quick, is like they kept showing the question mark for the third man because they were going to have that they were going to have the tag match. It was going to be Cesaro, Nakamura,
and six-man tag.
The six-man tag. Thank you, Jean-Paul. The six-man tag, and like they kept showing the question mark. They were kept showing, and then you see them asking Otis, to be the third member, and I'm like, why they keep showing that when they just show Otis? Like,
and I don't like. To me, Otis was like the most. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it was also to me a really stupid pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know because it's like, Otis is in Money in the Bank, but you got to think like Corbin and them. They kind of had this feud, and this feud kind of really doesn't have to do with Money in the Bank, and it's like. But when he called out Otis in the beginning, he's like, with Corbin's first promo, where he's something about him being like fat, and he said like one line, and all this other stuff, and it was like, okay, but I didn't think anything of it, and then it's like, oh yeah, Otis is going to be the guy, and then it's like,
so like they make it so predictable, and that's
I was thinking
that they shouldn't do.
Honestly, I was thinking it was going to be Elias before the show started. Thought it was going to be a returning Elias, and to be honest, I'm not sure if Elias would have been better or worse than Otis. I love Otis, but just in this match, I'm like, I don't know why.
Like you said, is like I think that like he's in a tag, but the fact that Tucker is not there, and there are a lot of people are feeling like a lot of sympathy for Tucky because like he's talented. Why is he not on TV? And why
honestly,
like getting the spotlight?
Yeah, and honestly, like when I heard at the main event, when I heard his music hit, I thought it was going to be Tucker. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, it's not going to be Otis. That don't make, whatever. Then Otis comes out. I'm like, oh.
See, that's what
I thought they were just going to use Tucker just to be like, hey, I don't know.
That's like, that is something that they need to really like work this out. Is he's going to be still on the tag? Is he going to be like singles? So that's the one thing that I'm not really liking, but that's what they did. So Jean-Paul, let's go now to the women's side. We have a tag match, Lacey Evans and Tamina beat Tamina. We're going to Bayley and Sasha Banks. I will say this match was pretty decent. These four girls, they know what to do. Tamina, that would be the weakest link. But see, Lacey getting better. Sasha and Bayley, always, crisp. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, Tamina's lack of talent to me sticks out like a fly floating in a milk bowl. Clearly it's like, ooh, she's not on the same level as all these other women. But it was what it was. It did the job where, okay, I'm going to jump through your notes here. Tamina, 1, 2, 3 scores the pin. So we know she's losing Sunday.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what is going to happen. And Pretty much that's yeah. It was a good match for me. Like at least Lacey Evans looked good. Sasha
Yeah.
Banks looked good. Bailey looked a little weak, just
Hmm.
because Tamina kicked out of the elbow, and also the Bailey to Bailey. So, but that gives the room for like the Rose plan to
Yeah.
like be the finisher, and then 1, 2, 3, and then she keeps the belt.
And I
There's no
would,
way
and
that she's losing the
yeah,
title.
and to me, I don't know, like if I was booking this and I was in charge, I would have had Tamina in a singles match tonight, and just Tamina looks dominant.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Also,
Tamina could look dominant, and then after the match, her music, oh, arms raised, celebrating, da. That's when Bailey and Sasha jump her, try to beat her down. Maybe Tamina grabs the belt, swings it at Bailey. Bailey retreats with Sasha, and then Tamina holds the belt. She has the moment. Okay, she's holding the belt. Da, I feel legit. And thanks, you're gonna lose on Sunday.
I would
Instead
have
of
done.
getting a tag match, because it's like, why do you? That's their thing. They're like, oh man, we don't know what to do, so we'll just take the faces, put them together versus the heels, and
It's
everybody
pretty
makes the
predictable
show.
booking. It's
Yeah,
pretty predictable booking, and again, also like your champion should not be losing.
yeah,
Like days
no,
before a pay-per-view. That's why the champions are not believable in
hmm,
WWE. You don't get the respect. Again, champions losing on TV is a bad thing. It
yeah,
is a bad thing because you look weak. And all of a sudden, again, like the same
yeah,
thing we talk about with one day you're like trash, and the other day you remember how to fight.
yep.
Magically, you remember how to fight. So Jean Paul, well, let's go to two girls that absolutely know how to fight now. that's questionable. That's up to like every single one in the family. Miss Mella is money, and Miss Batista or like Miss Dana Brooke, like they're pumping their participation and the money in the bank ladder match. And Dana says that like this situation is a risk that is worth taking because she's gonna climb that ladder and it's gonna be money in the bank. And Mella says, I already have that. So like I will like try to win it once again, and I'm gonna prove every single one of you when I become women's champion once again that Mella is money. And if you don't believe me, go ask Corey Graves because he probably knows how much money Mella is. I'm not saying like bills, but something else. She might be able to pull that out. So Jean Paul main event: Shinsuke Nakamura with King Corbin and Antonio Cesaro, a guy that like absolutely lost. He's more lost than like the I don't know what even a comparison, but poor Cesaro. Poor
That's
Cesaro.
how lost he is.
Yeah, he's more lost than like. No, I was gonna say something really terrible. Good thing I just like remember not to say it. But then Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, and like you said, Otis, because we were all thinking about either Tucker, Elias, but no,
Yeah, to
didn't
me,
make
I,
any
I mean,
more.
who would have you picked for that?
I just I for example like if I don't have anybody of those names, I would have tried like, but you don't leave me with a lot of more choices either.
Yeah, I mean,
There's not
again,
many.
I don't.
I would have picked. I would have picked. Nah, nah, nah. He's not on the
That would have
show,
been
but like
legit. Yeah, he's like the superstar. He wrestles every show, but no, they did show like another vignette for the hacker as well. And
yes,
see, you could have did something cool where maybe like Gulak got his ass beat or like something like that, or it's like it's like, oh yeah, Otis will be the third man, and then everybody's like, so, and then right before the main event. Oh no! See, it couldn't have been Otis. That would affect Money in the Bank. But whoever their partner is should have been laid out, like completely beaten down. Like, oh, this guy's out, and it's like, well, it's a handicap. We can beat these guys 2-on-1. Then, like on the Titantron, it shows an image or something of Corbin and them beating him up, and then the hacker comes down. But maybe they don't want to, spoil the hacker just yet. But I
not.
feel,
I think that yeah, there's a lot of rumors because a lot of people, and not saying ringside news. I'm not saying like they're spoiling that it's CM Punk. A lot of people already deny that. That is not CM Punk. It's like we already said weeks ago who could
oh
possibly
come on,
be.
it's Mustafa Ali. There's
It's
no way.
Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable. So they're using both of them as the one hacker. So it's they're taking turns with that. But it's
Okay,
both
so
of those
yeah,
guys.
almost like Batman and Robin.
Yes. It's like yeah, and there's Chad Gable is short, so of
Yeah,
course he's Robin. So
yeah.
it's too
But
yeah.
I mean,
So
that
Jean
would have been
Paul,
cool. But I mean, I guess I would have probably did Elias because at least him and Corbin have a little kind of feud
history.
thing going on. But
Yes.
yeah, this main event, I'm not. It didn't do anything for me for Money in the Bank. As soon as I saw this was a main event, it was like, all right, 20 minutes
And
till one, and I can start talking about SmackDown.
the one thing I don't like is like like the match is over. We'll go for who won and everything, but then we see everybody climbing and trying to get the briefcase. Right? What's the point of that?
Like, what are you gonna do?
Is
Take
this
it
the
home?
match?
Yeah, you gonna take it home, and then Sunday, Vince McMahon and everybody's like, "So we don't have a briefcase."
Or like you're taking and it's like, here, Vince, like,
Yeah,
let's start this all over
yeah.
again.
What are you gonna do? Cash in on Braun Strowman in the back? Probably eat some chocolate cake from catering. Are you gonna cash in right now? Like, what do you?
So, like the whole time, I'm just thinking about the situation. I'm like, why they try to grab that briefcase, with such passion? Like,
Yeah, I'm like,
what's the point? It's like, is the Money in the Bank right now?
see, that would be like at WrestleMania if they try to climb the rafters and touch the sign
Yeah,
because they all point to it. They're like, "No, I gotta touch." Like, why? What is it?
see, this is the time that actually it will make sense if you just like look at like the briefcase and you point it out.
Yeah, that's
Rather
what they
than
should
you
do.
pull the
Just point.
freaking ladder
Yeah.
and then you climb and then you want to get the ladder. You
Mhm.
want to get the briefcase. Absolutely no point. And like
Yeah,
you
I mean,
said,
if you beat him down with a ladder or this or that or like
yeah.
I don't know. And what would you do? Take the briefcase down and beat Daniel Bryan with it, or beat whoever with it? But it's like I don't know.
But what's
Yeah.
the point of like doing all of this? It's still it
It's the
doesn't
same
make
thing.
any
It's the
sense.
same thing with why we got Tamina pinning Bailey, so we can see the image of Tamina pinning Bailey, because we won't see it Sunday. We'll see the image of Corbin up on top of the ladder with the briefcase, because he's not going to win on Sunday.
Okay, well, exactly. So that it doesn't really make any sense. And they did the match even like they did something that Jean Paul appreciates, but at least when a show is good, and that is like they gave the main event time.
Yeah.
But in this situation, the result of it or the outcome didn't make a lot of sense because Div 6 on Drew Gulak, 1, 2, 3, and done. So
Yeah,
Drew
and
Gulak,
if you would tell me that it's like, oh, we have a match that has Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew Gulak, and
Cesaro,
Cesaro, Jean Paul's gonna hate it. They'd be like, no way. But there's just literally
but
no,
they found a way for
yep,
you to hate it. They
yep.
found a way for you to hate it.
Thanks, Bruce Pritchard.
And how they found that, making Drew Gulak act like the game. Like he's like a 61 or like a 60 because a dip 6 that is a signature move by no means should be a move that puts anybody away because everybody else in the whole entire roster in the WWE, they kicked out of it.
Yep.
But no, Drew Gulak, 1 dip 6, 1, 2, 3, and done.
And what was the whole point of this? Because there was the beatdown and all this stuff. Like, I don't know why people would be like, oh, I'm going to wrestle in a match. Whatever happened to wrestlers, like, why would you want to wrestle in a match before the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Why isn't anything done that, like, makes sense? That's all I ask. I just do something that makes a little sense.
Because sense is a word that WWE really has banned.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I didn't get caught up on the new list. I know they update it every 30 seconds. We're probably set at least 1,500 of them that are on the
Jean
banned
Paul,
list.
like no said, is not a no title match. That's another one. Roman is another one.
Yeah, number one contender, I think, is one.
Number one contender, another one. The original rope break is banned.
Yep.
All of those all of those words are completely banned
done.
from WWE.
So with more than one O is banned.
So like all of this is like they give you like a pretty, a limited vocabulary that you can choose from, and the outcome of this whole show was not good at all.
No.
Are we excited for any of the matches? Not really. I am excited just to like see like the whole like theme of it. How are they going to work these things out? Because again, there's a lot of rumors. The matches, Jean Paul, like the title match with Wyatt, the title match with McIntyre, all of those matches are going to be live. The only thing that was taped was both of the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Yeah.
So again, they're going to just have it like in pieces, in the spread out, through the whole pay-per-view. And no superstar was injured because we've seen everybody else coming out. So that's what we have for the show, Jean Paul. Any closing thoughts on that?
No, I mean, like we said, the show literally zero on my excitement meter. It did not go up. It stayed, it didn't. If anything, it went down. But, I'm still going to be excited for Money in the Bank. We'll go into the full thoughts, when we do the previews and predictions and all that stuff.
Which will come tomorrow. So again, for like our Reading audience, everybody in Pennsylvania from our home state, don't forget to check out Comcast Channel 15, BCTV. We're going to have Brady Hicks, professional wrestling journalist. Is going to be on. He's going to be talking with Jean Paul and myself. It's live. It's not like WWE, we don't tape things here. It's going to be live. So it's going to be there at 1:15 in the morning. Just remember, like ECW days, and Nights of Climax on Cinemax. So you choose, guys. You want porn, you get porn. If you want road break, you can flip channels once, back and forth. So there it is, right there. Yep. And Jean-Paul, and don't forget to check us out also on the social media world. Where?
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook and Instagram or the original Rope Break, Twitter the OG Rope Break, and YouTube for the best, and I mean the best content. Two charismatic enigmas right here, Juan and Jean-Paul on the original Rope Break on YouTube.
Exactly right. So don't forget, we will have previews and predictions tomorrow. We will just be talking all Money in the Bank, all the matches, every single match that has been announced and the possible outcomes. And after the pay-per-view is over on Sunday, Jean-Paul and myself will be doing our review of all the happenings in Money in the Bank. And then Monday, I'll be back with Jean-Paul, possibly in complete and absolute Espanol. So for all the Hispanic audience, we'll do Dinero en el Banco. So for everybody, Jean-Paul, there's only one more thing that is left to say. And what is that, Jean-Paul?